What if the next big crypto adoption moment does not look like someone's buying coffee with Bitcoin? What if it does not look like your mom's opening up a crypto wallet? What if it looks exactly like what you already do every day? You tap your Mastercard, you buy your coffee, the receipt prints, and you walk away. Nothing looks different. But behind the scenes, the rails that move money may be starting to change forever, because Mastercard has announced that it's expanding its settlement capabilities to include stablecoins, intraday settlement, weekend settlement, and holiday settlement. And one of the blockchain networks included in that payment infrastructure is none other than Solana. Now, before you start shouting, Mastercard is using Sol, boys, let's go to the moon, just take a deep breath. That's not what it means. It does not mean that every Mastercard transaction is suddenly paid in Sol. It does not mean that your local supermarket now accepts Solana. And it definitely does not mean that you should make financial decisions from a headline. What it means is much more interesting. It means one of the biggest payment companies in the world is looking at blockchain rails and stablecoins as part of the future of settlement. And settlement sounds boring. It sounds like something your bank manager would say right before you stop listening. But today, I want to show you why that boring word may be one of the biggest important words in crypto at the moment. Because for years, crypto has been trying to convince the world to leave the old financial systems. But what if the real twist is this? Crypto does not replace Mastercard. Crypto quietly powers part of Mastercard. That is the story today. Welcome back to Dad's Gone Crypto. I am Crypto Dad Sean, and looking forward to sharing this time with you. As always, this is educational content only, and I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your bank manager. I'm definitely not your wife explaining why grocery bills is higher than expected. So let's break this down properly. When you tap your card at a shop, it feels instant. Tap, beep, approve, done. Get out of there. But that beep does not always mean money has fully moved between everyone involved. That beep mostly is authorization. The system is saying, yes, the customer can pay. Yes, the transaction is approved. But behind the simple beep is basically a much bigger machine. There's the merchant's bank, the payment processor, the card network, the issuing bank, and then there's the settlement, the part where the actual money movement between institutions gets sorted out. That is the back office. That is known as plumbing. And historically, plumbing has been tied to banking hours, settlement windows, batches, weekends, public holidays, treasury systems, and a whole lot of financial admin. So even though your card payment feels instant, the deeper movement of money can still be slower than people think. And that is where stablecoins come in. A stablecoin is a digital token designed to track the value of a normal currency, usually the US dollar. So one USDC, for example, is designed to equal $1 US. The reason payment companies care about stablecoins is not because stablecoins are cool. They care about stablecoins can move 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They do not care about that it's Sunday. They do not care about that it's Christmas. They do not care about if the bank is closed. They move the internet money. That is the big unlock. Mastercard is not saying throw away the whole card system. They're saying, what if we keep the trusted front end, the cards, fraud protection, compliant disputes, global acceptance, but upgrade the part of the back end that settles basically the settlement layer using regulated stablecoins? That is the key. The front shop still looks like Mastercard. The back office gets a blockchain option. Here is the dad analogy. So imagine you order something online like Friday afternoon. The shop says, great, we've got your order and your money. But the delivery truck will only start moving on Monday. That is how parts of the traditional finance still work. Now, imagine a courier that moves 24/7. Sunday nights, public holidays, middle of the night, it doesn't matter. That is stablecoin settlement idea. And Solana wants to be one of the highways that the couriers use. So why Solana? People always say Solana is fast and cheap. But let's put the numbers down to that, because fast is one of those words that crypto people throw around like dads throw around tongs at a braai. Solana needs a network. Solana's network produces slots roughly every 400 to 600 milliseconds. That is less than a second. Now, let's be fair. That does not mean that every transaction is completely settled and final forever in half a second. Block production, confirmation, and finality are not all the same thing. But for payment infrastructure, that speed matters. We're talking about a network that can process activity in seconds or tenths of a second compared to parts of the legacy settlement in the world that may still run on banking hour logic. That is the difference between WhatsApp and sending a letter by pigeon. Both may eventually arrive, but one clearly belongs to the internet age. Now, let's talk about cost. Solana's payment material lists a medium fee average of 0.0013 cents. This is not 13 cents. This is not even 1 cent. It's a fraction of a cent. Now, real-world payments involve more than just blockchain fees. You still have compliance, on-ramps, off-ramps, service providers, treasury systems, and all those boring adult stuff. But the base rails itself is extremely cheap. And when you're dealing with millions or billions of transactions, tiny cost matters. A fraction of a cent may sound like nothing to us, but at a global payment scale, tiny efficiencies become massive. This is why payment companies care, not because they suddenly became crypto degenerates, because moving money is their business. If you can move money faster, cheaper, and more transparent across borders, across weekends, and across systems, that is not just crypto hype, that is infrastructure. And this is why the Mastercard story matters. Early in 2026, Mastercard launched its crypto partner program, bringing together more than 100 companies across crypto, fintech, and banking and payments. Then Solana launched the Solana Developer Platform, an enterprise-friendly platform designed to help institutions build tokenized assets, stablecoin flows, and payment systems without needing to become full-time blockchain experts. That part is important. So big companies don't want to build payment systems from random Discord tutorials. They need APIs. They need compliance. They need support. They need systems that plug into what they already do. And the earlier names connected to Solana's enterprise payment push are serious. Mastercard are stablecoin settlements. Will pay for merchant payments and settlement. Western Union for cross-border payments. Those are not tiny crypto projects with cartoon profile pictures. Those are money movement giants. So when someone asks who cares, that is who cares. Banks care because they want better liquidity. Payment processors care because merchants want faster settlements. Stablecoin issuers care because real payment usage gives stablecoins real utility. Blockchain cares because payment volume is one of the biggest real-world use cases. Merchants care because cash flow is oxygen, and normal people should care because the future of payment may become faster and more global without ever needing to understand what a validator is. The last part is important. The biggest crypto adoption may be invisible. Think about the internet. Most people don't understand TCP/IP. They do not understand DNS. They do not understand cloud routing. They just open up an app, send a message, watch a video, buy something, and then complain why their Wi-Fi is slow. Infrastructure wins because people stop thinking about it. And that's where crypto payments are going. The average person may never say, I'm using stablecoin settlement over Solana. They'll just be experiencing faster services, better merchant payouts, smoother cross-border payments. Now, we need to hype check in this. This is not Solana only. Mastercard's stable payment settlement announced including multiple networks, including Solana, Ethereum, Base, Polygon, Arbitrum, XRPL, and others. So the correct takeaway is not Mastercard chose Solana and everyone else is dead. The correct takeaway is Mastercard is building a multi-chain stablecoin settlement strategy, and Solana is one of the important rails in that stack. That's still big, but we must be accurate. This is probably a multi-chain future. Different chains will serve different needs. Solana may be attractive for high-speed, low-cost payment activities. Ethereum and its layer 2s may be attractive for liquidity and ecosystem depth. XRPL may continue to push the cross-border payment narrative. Other regular chains may appeal to regular finance. The battle is not just which token pumps. The real battle is which rails gets used for actual money movement. This is a much better conversation. Now let's bring it down to real life. What does this matter for business owners? Because cash flow matters. If you run a business and you don't want money stuck in a settlement, you want faster access to your funds, you want fewer days, you want lower friction, you want to know if customers pay on Friday, the financial machine does not go into the weekend mode while your bills keep moving. This is especially important in cross-border payments. Anyone who has ever sent and received international money knows the pain, the fees, the delays, the exchange rate friction. Sometimes sending money across borders feels like your payment has gone on a gap year before arriving. Stablecoins can help because they allow the dollar-like value to move across blockchain rails quickly. But the hard part is not just sending a token. The hard part is making it compliant, trusted, usable, redeemable, and connected to the real economy. That is why Mastercard matters. Mastercard brings trust, standardization, compliance experience, fraud systems, dispute processes, and global relationships. Crypto brings speed, programmability, and always-on movement. Together, that creates the hybrid model. Not old finance versus crypto, old finance plus crypto rails. That is the real story. So this is bullish for Solana, yes, but in the right way. It is bullish because it can help move Solana from a perception of being just a meme coin and trading chain into a serious payment infrastructure conversation. It shows the majority of infrastructure are willing to use or explore Solana in real settlement workflows. That matters. But does it mean SOL automatically goes up tomorrow? No. That's not how the real adoption works. Usage does not always equal immediate price movement. Fees are tiny, rollouts take time, regulations matters, partners need to adopt the systems, and the markets often hype before the real utility arrives. So don't confuse infrastructure validation with guaranteed short-term gains. The smarter takeaway from this is stablecoins are moving into the mainstream payment. Mastercard is not ignoring crypto. Visa is not ignoring crypto. WorldPay is definitely not ignoring crypto. Western Union is not ignoring crypto. The serious money is not asking, is crypto going away? They are asking, how do we use this safely, compliantly, and at scale? That's the major shift. For years, crypto said, the banks are scared. Maybe some were, maybe some still are, if you noticed in the news of late. But now the big players are adopting. They are protecting their moat. They are saying, if money starts moving on chain, we want to be a part of the movement. Mastercard does not want to be replaced by a stablecoin rail. Mastercard wants to connect to those rails to the global commerce. That is the chess move. And that is why the headline is not simply Mastercard partners with Solana. The better headline is your credit card just got a blockchain upgrade, because that is what people understand. The card stays familiar, the backend gets smarter, the consumer may never know what blockchain was used. The merchant cares about faster settlement, the bank cares about liquidity, the payment network cares about staying relevant, the blockchain cares about volume, and the stablecoin becomes the digital dollar moving through the machine. That is the story. So let me leave you with this. The first phase of crypto was rebellion. Bitcoin said, we need money outside the system. Ethereum said, we will build programmable finance. Solana said, we can make the blockchain fast and cheap enough for consumers to scale their applications. But the next phase may be integration, not replacing everything overnight, not burning the old system down, but upgrading pieces of it from inside. And that's often how technology really works and wins quietly behind the scenes, in the settlement layer, in the merchant payouts, in the cross-border transfer, in the stablecoin rail, in the thing that nobody sees until one day everyone is using it. So the next time you tap your card, remember this. A little beep at the till may look the same, but behind the curtains, the rails of money are changing. Crypto may not go mainstream by shouting louder. It may go mainstream by becoming invisible. And that, Daz, is when you know technology has really arrived. I'm Sean from Dad's Gone Crypto. Stay curious, stay careful, and remember the future of money might not arrive with fireworks. It might arrive with a simple tap. Take care.
The material and information presented in this recording are for entertainment purposes only. Do not misconstrue what you hear as investment or trading advice. Always do your own research. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the guests on this recording are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Dad's Gone Crypto or its hosts.